Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Frequency Key podcast. I'm your host, LILA, and I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back. This is officially episode 2 of the podcast, and I'm so excited. This is a show where we talk about all things energy, perspective, mindset, how to co-create your reality with the universe, how to attract everything it is that you want in life and become that magnet, the power of sound, healthy living, and all of that yummy stuff. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about imagination, how to harness the power of your imagination, and how to make it work for you instead of against you. So many of us don't realize that our imagination is one of the most powerful tools that we have in our toolkit. But since we don't realize that, and since we don't know how to use it in a productive way, it ends up being used to fuel worry and fear and self-doubt. But what if I told you you can actually reprogram your imagination to work for you and literally create miracles? Trust me, I speak from experience and I do not say that lightly. We're going to dive into it. But first, let's understand what exactly is imagination. Imagination is not just daydreaming. It is an energetic and neurological process that literally programs the subconscious mind. Our subconscious cannot tell the difference between something that's real and happening right now and something that has already happened, is in the past, and is just a vivid memory. To give you an example, imagine back on something sad that happened in your past. If you close your eyes and you imagine it so vividly, it's almost like you're reliving that experience, and the body is receiving that same chemical release into the bloodstream. So your body and your subconscious mind don't actually know the difference. To the body, it's happening right away because it's still getting that physical reaction. But consciously, we know it's just a memory. This is also why we need to be really careful about what media we're consuming. Like when I was younger, I used to love horror movies. But when I became more awakened, I guess you could say, I couldn't watch them anymore. It was like, it just affected me in such a way that even the next day I would be anxious. I would have dreams about the horror movie or nightmares, or even if it's just like suspense. Typically, I won't go there. We are rewatching Stranger Things right now though, because season 5 is coming out, and I mean, it's just so good. But I try to make sure to cleanse my energy before and after. Like, this is just a show. This is not real. Although it's wild how they reference MK Ultra, and it's like actually something that happened. So I see them. I see what they're doing. But anyway, now here's the fun part. The fact that we're able to have those emotions and that release and that experience in the body, thinking about past memories, means that we can also have that thinking about future memories. And of course, this could be for better or for worse, because if you are just worrying about the future and about, an event that you know is going to happen and you're not looking forward to, that's also not good. And then you're going to attract more things to worry about. But what's cool is that you can choose the future that you want to have, and it's like you're pre-playing that future. I don't know if that made total sense, but essentially, when you have a clear intention and you use your imagination to have this intention, and you have that elevated emotion in your body, you can program your body and your subconscious mind to think that you are actually having that experience. So even though whatever it is hasn't happened yet, you can trick the subconscious mind into thinking that it has. I have a pretty wild and miraculous example to share with you, and it is my own story. When I was 15 years old, I was diagnosed with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Lots of women have this problem, and essentially what it means is you don't get regular menstrual cycles, and essentially your ovaries are always just in adolescent phase and they never complete the cycle where they release the egg. Anyway, I don't even know how to explain it effectively, but if you have it, you know, because you don't have regular cycles. And I found out when I was 15 because I got my period at 14. And then I only got the second one 6 months later, and then the third one 6 months after that. So naturally, I told my mom, this is amazing. Like, I only get a period twice a year. Like, the dream any woman would want, especially any teenager going through that at that phase. But of course, she was like, no, honey, that's not normal. So we went to the doctor, got all the scans. They did what's it called? When they do the gel, just like with pregnant women. I forget what it's called. But anyway, they were able to scan my ovaries and see that I had an abnormal amount of follicles on each side. To my recollection, the regular number of follicles that you should have on each side is a maximum of 20, and I had 30 on one side and 35 on the other, which was causing me to have irregular periods and a lot of acne. I've always struggled with a lot of acne through my teenage years, and even sometimes nowadays, depending on what I eat. However, it has gotten exponentially better since I have healed. So, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but what the doctors told me is that I had to be on birth control. That was the only way. That was my only solution to have regular periods. So of course at 15, I got on birth control, and I had been taking it until I was 22, I believe. I got off birth control in September of last year because I watched a documentary on Gaia about birth control. I forget what it's called, but if I remember, I will put it in the show notes for you. It changed my life, and I just knew that I was not going to allow that to be my story. I said, no, there's no way that I have to stay on birth control. Like, there are so many terrible side effects. It's not healthy for you. And me personally, I didn't want to do that anymore. I do take precautions. I'm not planning on having babies anytime soon. But anyway, and yeah, that's when I started my healing journey. I got off birth control, and I would just meditate. I can't even say every single day. I would try to do it every single day, but I'm not gonna lie, I did not do it every single day, but I just felt the gratitude in my heart, and I knew that my body was healing itself. So every time I had my gratitude practice, I would feel so grateful. I'm like, thank you so much for my regular periods. Thank you for allowing me to understand my cycle and be able to, understand it, all the different phases, and go through regular phases like a regular cycle does. And I would just have that gratitude. And despite what everyone told me to do, I stayed strong in it. I'm so blessed to have the most amazing partner, Darwin, who has supported me during this entire journey. And he's always been like, yes, this is, you're going to be able to do it. He believed in me. But of course, people who don't know any better and people who are concerned were like, no, girl, you need to do something. If you're not going to do birth control, like, find out a different way, get an IUD, I don't know, stuff like that. But I was so committed to healing, and I didn't know when I was going to heal. I just knew that it was just a matter of time, and I just needed to stay consistent. And of course, there were times that I wanted to give up, and I wanted to just get on birth control again because I didn't have a period for 7 months, and I started to get worried naturally. But I stayed strong, and I was like, nope, that thought doesn't serve me. I'm healing. I know I'm going to be okay. My body is going to do its thing. And now I have regular periods. So yeah, that is my miracle story. I healed my PCOS through the power of my mind. And I read Joe Dispenza's You Are the Placebo book. His Becoming Supernatural book is really, really amazing as well, which is why I am so inspired by his work, and I know that it works because I have used the techniques and I have done it myself. And this is actually, I think, the main reason that made me want to start this podcast, because I thought more women need to know about this. More women need to know that they can heal themselves through the power of their mind and through like attuning to the frequency of the healed body that you want to have. Of course, I'm not saying like if a shark bites off your leg, meditate and hope to heal. Like, there are some things that Western medicine is great for. But at the same time, if you have some sort of chronic illness or disease, or even like Dr. Joe's, he hosts, he hosts these events where people have miraculous recoveries, and it's not typically just all of a sudden like in a week you're done, but these people have been putting in the work. They've been doing the meditations every single day and regulating their nervous system so that they can be calm and so that they can allow their bodies to heal, because when we're in fight or flight, we're not able to heal. Our cells are like, nope, we need to be on alert. But when we can be at ease in our nervous system, our cells can regenerate themselves. And he has had crazy miraculous stories, like a woman who had to remove her colon because of cancer, and through his workshop and through the meditations grew a whole new colon. And they scanned it and did all of the tests. It wasn't just scar tissue, it was a literal organ, like doing its job. So the human body has a crazy capability to heal itself and to regenerate tissue. We have just been programmed to believe that we can't. And remember how our thoughts and our emotions affect our energy and affect what it is that we are calling in and what frequency that we're vibrating at. When we don't believe that this is possible for us, it isn't. And so I know it sounds cliche, but you need to believe it to make it true. Like it is so true. I cannot emphasize that enough. With that, let's go over a few practical steps so that you can start to harness your imagination and have it work for you. So the first thing is going to be to start becoming aware of the thoughts that you're having on a day-to-day basis. What is your default mode? Like, what thoughts are coming to you typically during the day? The first step is becoming aware of it, because our mind, we are so close to our mind that we don't realize that it's just like a person talking in our ear all day long. Our thoughts, we can't actually, hear our thoughts, although we hear them in our mind's eye, in our mind's ear. Anyway, you get what I mean. If our thoughts was a person yapping all day long in our ear, we would not be able to take it. We'd be like, shut up already. So with that in mind, becoming aware of what thoughts you're naturally having is the first step. So step 2 is going to be catching any negative thoughts that you have, interrupting them, and reframing them. When you catch yourself having a negative thought, no matter what it is, don't get upset with yourself, for one, because it takes patience and it takes practice. And our mind, we don't control our mind. Sometimes it just blah, 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 blah. And even to this day, it happens to me. It's not a destination. It's a journey and a conscious choice that you choose every single day on how you want to show up. So when you catch yourself having a negative thought, for example, that you don't want to have anymore, you can be like, oh, thank you. I hear you. Talk to your thought, even talk out loud. I do that to myself because sometimes I even need to repeat myself several times because my mind just be yapping. But if you catch your negative emotion or your negative thought, catch it, stop it, interrupt it, and be like, thank you so much. I know that you're just concerned about me, but this thought doesn't serve me, and I actually choose to believe otherwise. So you're reframing it. An example that just popped into my head, it's just the first thing that came to mind, is, sometimes when we see a homeless person, we can be quick to judge them. But for me, I don't like judging anyone because I don't know their story. I don't know what they went through, and I would never want to put myself in a position where I think I'm better than them for any reason. But sometimes, the mind, we don't have full control over the mind unless we consciously interrupt it in its patterns and choose to reframe and reprogram them. So whenever I see someone who unfortunately is homeless, I now send them so much love. I imagine a golden light just going all over their body and that they are showered with my love, and I pray for them and I hope all the best for them. But for me in the past, I know that I would be quick to judge. I'd be like, oh my gosh, look at that person doing some crazy thing on the side of the road. I didn't like having that judgment inside of me, so I choose to reframe that. And now it's actually more natural for me to see someone in a situation like that and send them love. I don't judge anymore. I just directly send them love. And that's the power of reprogramming, is that slowly but surely you start to have a new personality. Literally, what is it that Dr. Joe says? Your personality is your personal reality, or change your personal reality Oh, no, here we go. To change your personal reality, you must first change your personality. I think it's something like that. Anyway, if you remember enough, if I'm saying it wrong, drop it down in the comments for us, please. But it's literally true. If you want to have different thoughts and emotions and a different programming, you need to change your personality. You need to change whatever it is that no longer serves you, whatever thoughts you don't want to have anymore, whether that's judgment, fear, scarcity, hatred towards anyone, and consciously make the choice to reframe it and choose a better emotion, one that you truly want to embody. So step 3 is going to be to then pair that reframe with an emotion. Like I mentioned, I send them so much gratitude, and it's not just like a random thought like, oh, gratitude to them, nonchalant, not even thinking about it. Like, no, I take a minute, I close my eyes, and I imagine them just covered in golden light, and I send them so much gratitude coming from my heart. And I know that they can receive it in some way. And this can work for whatever it is you want, for whatever emotion that you're feeling, whatever thought you no longer want to have. When you're constantly worrying about things that happened in the past or things that might happen in the future, but you're in that state of worry, you are attracting and rehearsing a reality that you don't want, but you're going to end up having, because that's the frequency that you're emanating. But when you consciously imagine the life that you want to have, and you feel that gratitude in your chest as if it was already yours, you are choosing to rehearse the life that you actually want to have. It's like you're taking hold of the steering wheel after being on autopilot for so long, or for like your whole life. When you're finally awakening to all these things, you have never practiced using your conscious mind to reprogram your subconscious mind like that. It's like learning a new skill. It's like taking hold of that steering wheel after being on autopilot for your whole life. There's a learning curve, but eventually you're going to remember it, because it truly is a remembrance. We have this love and innate power inside of us. We just forgot. And I feel like, as far as I'm concerned, the whole point of being on this earth is to remember that and to enjoy it. Now, a couple hacks that I love for gratitude and for visualization. When I have coffee in the morning, I don't know about you guys, and I'd love to hear from you, so drop in the comments if you're the same. But when I have coffee, it's like this rush of gratitude floods my veins. It's pretty much instantaneous when I'm having coffee. I'll just feel so excited, and it's like a jolt of energy, and I just feel so happy and so excited. So I use that moment to say thank you for all the things I have and the things I already have, even though they haven't happened yet. You get it? Things from the future. That's when I use my manifestation. I'm feeling that gratitude, and I just thank the universe for everything working out for me. Whatever it is that you have in your practice, you can use states of natural gratitude to then take a moment and be like, okay, thank you so much, and calling in whatever it is that you want to call in. So whether that be when you have coffee in the morning, or say you just got really, really, really good news and you're super excited, you can take a moment while you're in that energy and in that frequency to then use that emotion that you already have, so it's like organically created, and call in whatever it is that you want to call in from your future. You use that in your practice, and you feel that gratitude as if it was already yours, and then use the power of your imagination to envision what your life looks like. And that way you are tricking your subconscious mind, you are tricking your body into believing that it's already yours. And remember, we become a magnet for what it is that we're emanating. So when you're emanating that positive frequency, you are tricking your energy, your electromagnetic field, into magnetizing that to you even more. Morning visualizations are also super powerful. Our theta brainwave state is when we are the most programmable. So kind of like as soon as you wake up, you're still kind of sleepy. If you're able to use that time and meditate and visualize everything that you've always dreamed of, and feel the burning desire in your heart, but then also the detachment of outcome, like in that you don't feel like it needs to happen in order for you to be happy. You already have it, so you're already happy, and you know it's just a matter of time. I feel that can be a really, really powerful unlock. Some people like to do it at night as well. I think it really just depends on what you prefer, but for me, the mornings are the best. And yeah, so that's another hack that I recommend. Our imagination is one of our most sacred technologies, and we have many. That's a whole nother episode, a topic for a whole nother episode, but we're not just flesh and bone. We are coded. Our DNA is so powerful. We have so much power, and we just need to remember because we've forgotten. All we need to do is change our programming and change our frequency. That's how powerful it is. And when you understand how to implement these things into your life, and then you actually do it, right? Because it's not just wishful thinking. You must take action, and it does take work. It is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But when you're able to really understand and embody the frequency of that which you desire, you will be able to create a day-to-day life that is much more fulfilling and grounded and energizing. And I speak from experience. I didn't always used to be like this. I went through a phase where I was ultra depressed. I wanted to end my life every single day. And here I am today after lots of therapy and lots of work and lots of learning new concepts. And I really just want you to understand that this is available for you as well. It is inside of you. You just have to tap into it. So instead of using your imagination to replay your past, I invite you to use it to pre-play your future. And not a future where you're going to be worrying in advance about something that hasn't happened. A future where you magnetize all of your dreams. Anything is possible, truly. All you have to do is believe. I feel like that should be the ending to a Disney movie or something. Maybe it is, but it's so true. And more people need to know that. All right, beautiful soul, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like this episode, send it to a friend, drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and make sure to follow Frequency Key on Instagram. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's at LILA's Frequency. And yeah, thanks again. I will see you next week for episode 3. Bye.